nice place to do our 1-year review of the mighty 2022 Tacoma TRD off-road with the 6-speed manual transmission. I hope you don't hate me for beating up on the Tacoma so much, because I know there's a lot of people that just absolutely love these things, and I don't understand you. Okay, I promise it's not going to be all negative. Look at it. They're beautiful trucks. But it's harder than you'd think to make a 1-year review video. I don't know. I watch a lot of these YouTubers and they're just really great at, well, let's face it, a lot of it's bullshit. And I never sugarcoat anything. I just don't. I give it, I say it how I feel it, right or wrong. This is my feelings. This is what I think about the Tacoma. Pace yourself. Don't wear yourself out. Look at it. They take stunning pictures. What's happening, YouTube? Got the old Tacoma out this morning. Woke up, we had a hell of a snowstorm. I don't know. It doesn't always snow at my house, maybe once or twice a year, so it's always kind of fun when it does. The freeway is completely fucked off, as it always is. 29 degrees, you got 29 degrees right now. I'm trying to fall in love with this Tacoma, I don't know. Kind of like it, kind of don't sometimes. It's a weird love-hate relationship with this rough riding thing. It's been a year since I got this Tacoma. Thought maybe we'd do a 1-year review. Tell you what I think about this beautiful truck. Really, my only complaint about it is that, same thing everybody complains about with these Tacomas. The engine and transmission. See, neither one of them are terrible. The automatic, well, that's not a terrible transmission. That 6-speed's not bad. This manual transmission, okay, well, it's kind of a pile of shit, actually. Take that back. It's really a mismatched deal with we'll go this way, with the engine and transmission in these things. Because this is such a rev-happy engine. It doesn't really like to live below 3,000. It's wild how the power band in this thing works too. It's like, oh, it hits 3,000, it just comes to life all the way up to about 5,500. The problem is the transmission's like, what is this? It doesn't. Your rev hangs really bad. The engine rev hangs. Transmission's a notchy, clunky pile of shit, really. It's not it's probably the worst manual transmission I've ever experienced. If I'd have really taken a test drive and, I don't know, it's taken me 17,000 miles, right? I've had this thing a year and 17,000, and I really still haven't found how this truck likes to be driven. That rattling back there, that's my fridge. It's not turned on and the lid's propped open, so it's rattling a little bit. I apologize. This is an impromptu video, and it's a real rough ride truck. It is. I don't think my 91 dually rode this rough, to be quite honest. I really don't. I had a 91 crew cab 4x4 Chevy dually. It didn't get much more basic than that truck, and I believe this thing rides rougher. Yeah, 3rd gear and 5th gear are kind of crunchy in this thing. 2nd gear is a little crunchy too when it's cold. It's not a confidence-inspiring transmission. I don't imagine it lasting forever. I don't know. It's awfully notchy, and it grinds in low range. It's good. It's good for what I use it for. I don't wheel it. I don't city drive it much, so really it's mostly highway back and forth to work, 125 miles at a time, so yeah, it does that pretty good. We average about 19 overall, which is really decent for running 285s. I hand calculate that, so that is a real number. So what do I love about this Tacoma? I can't think of a whole lot. Yeah, that's funny. All right, yeah, we're back on track. We're doing a 1-year review, right? So, problems I've had with this thing. Honestly, the only problems I've had is batteries. I've got two bad batteries from Toyota. 2 bad batteries. It's very odd. And they were the batteries. They weren't the truck. Other than that, it's been a real reliable truck. I've changed the oil every 5,000. I did the 2 free oil changes or whatever that Toyota gives you, but yeah, I don't know. I switched over to Redline 020. I run it in the Tacoma and the 4Runner. It's been a reliable truck. I think the headlights are better than they are in my 4Runner, oddly enough. I don't know why. Really, the only major complaint I have is the transmission's just kind of not good. And the rev hang. Between the rev hangs and the notchy kind of, it's just not good. Like, you never get the same shift twice. This is coming from somebody that's had manuals his whole life. It's just very notchy and inconsistent. Rev matching is a pain in the ass. You rarely get a consistent shift out of it. First to second is different just about every time. I don't know, it's alright. I'll probably keep this Tacoma for quite a while. I'm curious to see what the 4th gen looks like. I'm not a huge proponent of buying the first year of a vehicle, but I might buy a 4th gen. Let's face it. I'm probably not going to keep this thing for 1,000,000 miles, so it really doesn't matter if a 4th gen's reliable or not. I've got a second vehicle. So if it gets kick-ass fuel mileage, I'll probably do it. I know. It sounds like I hate my fucking Tacoma. I know. I don't hate it. I don't love it either. I've had this thing for 1 year and we've had a love-hate relationship for about that long. This is my second Tacoma. I don't learn easily. It's not a terrible vehicle. It's just wonder if anybody from Toyota ever drove one of these things before they ever green-lit it. Like, I don't know. I had a 2016 when they first came out. Really, I didn't hate it that much. I kind of liked that one, honestly. They could never get the headliner to quit leaking. It leaked water through the 3rd brake light, which now there's a fix for it. But yeah, a couple headliners and yeah, I was kind of over that one. We'll poke our head up here, shall we? Maybe we can catch a nice sunrise this morning up here. little snowy. It's a rare snowy morning here. Doesn't get a lot of snow. I've never been up here to Beer Peak in the snow. The snow on the cactus. How cool is that, huh? So I figure what a nice place to do our 1 year review of the mighty 2022 Tacoma TRD off-road with the 6-speed manual transmission. We are in second gear in low range, and now we're in first. It's definitely not the smoothest riding vehicle on the planet, but of course it doesn't have stock suspension, so we can't blame that on Toyota. Although it is TRD branded lift, so it is a factory lift. But we all know what it is. It's really a Bilstein. They're not a great truck. They're not a great truck. The 3.5 liter is not a great truck motor. It's not. It doesn't do shit below 3,000 RPMs. Nothing. There's nothing below 3,000 RPMs. So you've got this big fucking gap between the gears, right? This is not a close ratio transmission, which if it had a close ratio transmission, it might be all right, but you know, trucks, unless we're talking like we're gonna give it more gears than 6, I mean, that could work. A crawl gear in high range would be bitching in this truck. Maybe it needs a 7-speed. Maybe a 7-speed manual would be great with this engine. I don't think so. It's just not a truck motor. I know this video is gonna sound like I absolutely hate the Tacoma, and I don't hate it. I promise you I don't hate it. I still have it, right? I still have it. I don't hate it. It's not a comfortable truck. These seats are not wonderful seats at all, but I don't hate it. It's a great 4x4, capable. I don't love the little knob here. I think that's just, we could have come up with a better spot for that. Maybe made it not exactly the same size as the HVAC control knobs. I don't know. It's in a bad spot. And why did we put the traction control down here? Well, why wouldn't we put it up here where the rest of the 4-wheel drive stuff's at? I mean, why don't you have crawl control on this thing? There's plenty of room for the buttons. But it's still a simple truck. And I think it'll last a long time. That's what the beauty of these things are. I put 17,000 miles on this, and they've been mostly trouble-free miles. So far, knock on Tacoma steering wheel, it's been good. So like I said, this is my second Tacoma. I had a 2016 before this. Would I buy another Tacoma? Would I be interested in a 4th gen Tacoma? Maybe. It all depends on fuel mileage. If they can get some fuel mileage out of it and actually have a real hybrid truck, you know, it's a fine line, because to get horsepower, you're going to burn fuel. But other companies seem to be able to get some fuel mileage out of their pickups. And I know I hate when I hear people say, well, you don't buy a Tacoma for fuel mileage. It's like, well, I also don't just fucking throw my money out the window because I have some, right? It's a silly comment, and all you're doing is trying to convince yourself that fuel mileage doesn't matter. Now, I take that all into consideration, because at the end of the day, these are I use them. I drive them. It costs me money to drive them. So if it's cheaper for me to still have the same amount of fun, I'm all in. So absolutely fuel mileage matters. So speaking of that, this truck gets 19 miles to the gallon overall. And I'm happy with it. That's decent. That's decent fuel mileage. Decent. Very decent. Okay, we are done beating on the Tacoma. It's a pretty truck. Look at it. Does it haul a lot of stuff? No. Is it a capable 4x4? Absolutely. Does it do well in the snow? Absolutely. Do I like it? I do like it. At the end of the day, it's been a very reliable truck that gets pretty decent fuel mileage. And I've only had to jump start it 4 times. No, seriously, I have. Which is kind of weird. I had to push it into my parking spot at work one time when it was like a month old. That was also odd. But other than that, come on, let's face it. These things are fun. They're good-looking trucks. They have a huge following. And I don't hate it. I really don't. I'm kind of a negative guy to begin with, so, here you go. It is what it is. Look at it. Beautiful. It really is a picture-perfect truck. Ah, another Tacoma. Another 3rd gen Tacoma out here just tearing it up. See, 2nd gears. Grindy. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. We'll catch you next time.